dictator, Vladimir Putin, has once famously called the collapse of the Soviet Union, quote, the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the century, end of quote. That ought to tell you very, very much. He regrets the collapse of the evil empire that killed, that tortured, and that repressed millions of Russians. And he is in the process of trying to reconstitute that empire by threatening Russia's neighbors, regardless of the wishes of the people he seeks to rule over. Putin is on the precipice of greatly escalating the war on Korea, upset that Ukrainians, as is their right, increasingly seeking to leave the Soviet past behind them and reclaim their European heritage. Ukraine wants to renew historic ties with their Western neighbors while building democracy and the rule of law. Now, you saw over the week, particularly this weekend, Putin sending troops into Kazakhstan at the invitation of that country's allied dictator to repress an unexpected popular uprising. All this empire building rests on convincing the Russian people that despite their miseries and his misrule, Putin is restoring Russia's past glory, just like they can have a good economic future based on that past glory. Now, this work of Putin requires a war on history. Putin recently gave a speech absurdly claiming Ukraine is not a real country, based on ignoring, or rather Russia co-opting, the much older history of civilization in Ukraine. He also has rehabilitated the memory of the sadistic mass murderer Joseph Stalin. There's a book about how Putin's Russia views Stalin's past. Its title says it all. Quote, the name of the book, it was a long time ago and it never happened anyway. Now they're taking action in recent weeks to make sure that history of Russia's past, particularly the abuse of its population, never is known. And I'll cover that in just a minute. Stalin's horrific crimes against the Russian people are a big obstacle to Putin's narrative about the Soviet Union as part of some sort of a proud Russian imperial tradition. So it comes as no surprise that Putin's regime has forced the closure of a respected Russian human rights organization dedicated to the truth about the victims of Soviet communism. The independent human rights organization known as Memorial was co-founded by Nobel Peace Prize winner Andrei Sakharov in the waning days of the Soviet Union. Sakharov was a brave dissident who risked everything to call attention to the evils of the Soviet system. As some of my colleagues may recall, I led the effort in this United States Senate to name the street in front of the old Soviet embassy in his honor, Sakharov Plaza. When the Soviet Union collapsed, Sakharov embodied the hope of a brighter, more democratic future for all of Russia, built on understanding and reckoning with its past. The forced closure of Memorial, after decades of noble work to bring awareness and to bring healing around the victims of the Soviet communism is emblematic of the state of Putin's Russia, but not the state of the Russian people. Moreover, the next day, he moved even further in this direction of trying to rewrite history or stop the truth coming out. Putin shut down the separate but related Memorial Human Rights Center, which focused on political prisoners this very day that are being abused under Putin's regime. This is a major setback for what's left of Russia's civil society that started to emerge out of the wreckage of communism. A robust civil society will be essential if Russia is ever to become a free, prosperous, modern nation. Today, only President Putin stands in the way of that accomplishment. I yield the floor.